Hey everyone, we're getting ready to start in 3 minutes. I just wanted to log on a little early so that I could connect like I do each time. So I'm going to share this. I hope. Hey everyone, let's see who's here. Okay, I think that worked. So, let's see what time it is. We'll get started in just a minute. Hey Scott, Vicky, I have to tell you that one of your flowers inspired one of my paintings, so see if you recognize your garden in my work. Hey Rick, looks like people are just joining. Hi John. So I'm hoping that everyone's going to be able to hear okay because there's a lot of street noise. I'm up here in the front of my studio in the window, and there's a lot of people walking by because it's August in Provincetown. So I just locked the door so that no one will come in, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So hi everyone, welcome. Thanks for coming for the 5th, hey Scott, for the 5th live stream of the season. So this one's called The Birds and the Bees, and it's a lot of botanicals. It's been 4 weeks since we've done this, and I've really missed all of you, and I've missed doing this. So I really love the connection that I get through these live feeds, and I'm just happy to be here. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about my small works that I do. A lot of times, this one's not so small, but a lot of times I do florals and insects. A couple years ago with the minis small work show that I do, I started doing florals and insects. I did some monarchs, and it really brings me joy to do that type of work. It's a lot of fun, and it's also a way for me to use all of my skills because it's a combination really of my painting and drawing styles that come to life. So I spend a lot of time with these pieces. So there's the conceptual phase, there's also the phase where I do the painting. I paint out all my canvases brown first, which I'm sure you all know from some of my prior live casts. So if it's canvas work, I paint it dark brown first, and then I add the light versus having to paint the dark. And I will paint the background, and then we'll have drawn with some sort of pencil to indicate where the item's going to be, and I paint around that, and then that dries, and then I paint the actual object or bug or flower with really some broad strokes, really in an expressive kind of quick way. And then I go in and add line work after that. Then I paint the edges and then I frame them. So I get to spend a lot of time with all of these pieces, so they're really special for me. But before we get started, I just wanted to say that a lot has happened in these 4 weeks. And last weekend I got some really tragic news, and if you're close to me, you know what that's about. And I just want to say that one of the best things for me is to be behind the easel or at the drawing table. You know, that's my place of solace and comfort, and so a lot of love is poured into this work because I find comfort in it. So just looking at my notes, I think I've gotten through everything I wanted to say up front. So I have 13 pieces to take you through. Oh, and I just wanted to mention that in the description of this live feed is a link to the online store, and all of these pieces, these new pieces, are up at the beginning of the fine art section of my online store. So go there, go to that link. Don't just go to the paintings tab because they're not all in there yet. They're in the store. And that link, again, is in the description. That should be on this feed. So I have 13 pieces to share with you. Some are florals. You know, as you can imagine, the title, The Birds and the Bees, indicate that there are maybe some insects and some flying objects. There's also some trees, and I want to just take you through it. So this piece is called Sun Salutation, and I'm going to bring you guys a little closer to it. Hopefully you can't see it. You guys still have to deal with my wobbly camera. It's like what I'm known for, I guess. I'm just going to tap on this to see if I can get the exposure correct. There, that looks pretty good. So this piece is 24 by 24. It's called Sun Salutation. It's a sunflower, and it's that sunflower with the golden light kind of coming through it. So you see a little bit of the transparency of the thin petals, and the darkness is where they're overlapping. So this piece is 24 by 24. It's called Sun Salutation, and I put all of these pieces up on my online store, usually around 5:30 as I get closer to the event, and this one has already been snapped up by someone. So this one's not available anymore, but it's definitely the highlight, one of the focals of the show, and it's right here on this easel in the front window, so it's actually drawn a lot of people in to the studio today. So that is the first piece. Tessa, what are you doing in Paris? It's late there. All right, so the next few that I have to show you, I'm actually taking the camera off of the tripod for, so bear with me. But I did some dragonflies. So this piece down here is called, what is it called? It's called Grounded. And oh, it's hard for me to hold this because it's the reverse image thing. So this is called Grounded. It's a beautiful kind of resting dragonfly. I love dragonflies where you don't see them necessarily in their typical spread, and the wings are kind of up and translucent, and you can see the wings through one another. You can see really closely here the line work that I do on top of the painted area. And the really rich textural background. So that is Grounded. This is a challenge to hold the phone. So, and then above it here is one that I call Balanced. And again, it's not that typical wing spread or span, but you get to see the translucence. Tom, hey Tom. So, and then there's one more way up here. This is why I had to take the camera off of the tripod, but then this one is called Ascend, and it's basically going out of frame. There it is. Ascend, and it's, again, the same size as the others. It's 16 by 16, if I didn't mention that earlier. And it has that same rich kind of background and beautiful line work on top to really just define the form. So I'm going to go back to the tripod, which you are all probably really happy about. Paul, man, I miss you, Paul. I need to see you. So, okay. So that was Sun Salutation and the 3 dragonflies. And now we're going to go right over here to the first larger piece here. This one is called Biking Beach Forest. And this is where the trees kind of come along from the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. So these are those beautiful beach trees in Beach Forest, and this is the bike trail. This is a diptych, and it is 2 panels that are 22 by 28. Just checking the exposure to see if you can see fairly well. And I learned this trick last time. I can actually zoom in right like that, so you can see the texture. So this one's called, like I said, Biking Beach Forest. When you put these pieces together, it's a really substantial piece, so it will run about 48 inches wide, finished with these frames, and closer to 30 inches tall. So it's a nice, significant piece. And again, a diptych. Tessa! That's Biking Beach Forest. So now the rest of these pieces are down the way here a little. And I am going to just show you a few at a time because I'm just that way. So let me adjust this. David, long time no see. So these 2 pieces that you see on the side of the screen here, as I begin to reveal these, are some birds that I did. And this was a lot of fun. I hadn't done a lot of birds recently. And so there's a seagull and a heron. And if you live on Cape Cod, you know that these birds are plentiful, especially the seagulls. So the upper one is called Soar, and it's S-O-A-R. And it is 11 by 14. And it's got this really great, you know what, I'm just going to snag this off of here and maybe do this as a handheld thing. So this is Soar, and you can see it a lot better up close. So I love the way the line work turned out on this one. I think it really brings it to a whole new level. And his little webbed feet. So then if we go down here, this is a piece. This is hard because this is reversed. This is called On Watch. And it's basically a heron that I saw. I don't know if I can get that better. There we go. It's a heron that I saw at the Cape Cod Canal when I was down there a few weeks ago visiting with my friend Michael, who I hadn't seen in forever because of this pandemic. So he was just hanging out, just on watch, just kind of checking out all the boats that were coming through the canal. So this one's also 11 by 14, and it's called On Watch. And I'm going to go back to the tripod. If that wasn't too painful, I don't know. Oh my God. You would think by the 5th time I would have figured this out and it would be a little less crazy. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you all of these florals at once because they look great as a set. The top row are all echinacea, and then we've got some beach rose in the middle center, the center lower level, and then you can see my bee off on the little yellow flower, and then there's also a little ladybug. So now I'm going to take you through each one of these individually with my jiggly camera. So here we go. This one's called Evening Flower, and I'll probably get used to this eventually. There we go. So this is an echinacea, but it's got this gorgeous dark background. Wait a minute, wait. This is there we go. This is that that reverse thing that makes it a little bit of a challenge. So bear with me. So this dark background, hopefully it's coming out as dark and not reading too light with the light on it. You can see the texture, and I just love the contrast of the floral in the front ground with that dark behind. This one, so that was 12 by 12. This one's called Cone Flowers, and obviously it's cone flowers. I teased this one the other day before I added the line work, and it got a lot of likes. I think people were excited about the direction it was going, and I love especially this little detail of the little start here. And let's see what people are saying. Oh my God. So I see Leslie, hi. Mark, Scott. I always like a little encouragement. It's so nice to see everyone. Hey. So this next one is called Coneflower Cluster, and they're kind of a little bit of a different variety of coneflowers. They get a little bit of orange and a little bit of warm tones happening, but I love this one as well. I love actually the layering, and I think that the colors for me harken to this really beautiful kind of nostalgic palette for me. I don't know if it's because I grew up in the 70s, but I'm kind of digging that. And that one is called, let me see if I can get this in the right light. I don't know if I'm doing this very well, but this one is called, again, Coneflower Cluster. So yeah, I love those three as a grouping. I hope that someone sees the value of all three of them and likes them together, because I think that that would be a great trio. But it's not a triptych, so you can buy it however you'd like. So this little guy right here is our namesake of the show, the birds and the bees. So this one's called Buzzed, and it's 8 by 10, so it's a tiny little piece. And I just like the definition of the bee. I think it brings me a lot of joy. Just, I don't know, it felt like it was really comforting to do this particular piece. And this piece is some beach roses. I called it its proper name. It's Rosa rugosa, I think is how you say it, but that's the genesis of this plant. It was a native to Asia, but now is all over North New England. And let's see if I can, there we go. So this one, I'm not new to doing beach roses, because I have done a whole series of these before. And I just love them. They grow all over the Cape here. And this is from a photo I took when I went across the jetty earlier this spring, and I don't know, it was beautiful the way the sand kind of laid below the surface of the blooming. So if you look down, at the roses and you see the sand under the plant, it was kind of the effect of this. So, and it also has a little blossom coming along. So then the next piece that I'd like to share with you is this little ladybug. And this is 8 by 10. This one was called, is called, But I'm a Lady. And it actually is sold as well. But I just had a lot of fun working on this one. And like I said, I spend a lot of time with these pieces, so they feel really close to me, and certainly brought me a lot of comfort lately. So those are all the pieces. I think we've gone through them all. Those are all the pieces included with the birds and the bees. So that was fairly quick, I guess. Hey, Clifton. So all I see is that someone's comment just says ha ha, so I'm not sure what I said that was so funny. Oh, I'm a lady. But I'm a lady. So anyway, that's the show. That is, let me back this up even more so I don't have to keep crouching down. There's another piece in here that you will see that is an older piece. So anyway, so that's it. That's the birds and the bees. And I'm really happy that y'all joined me. So my next live feed is going to be on September 4th, unless I decide to do one sooner. And hey, Rob. And I'm thinking I might want to do one before then. Last time I kind of thought of the idea of, oh, I'd show you how I do some of my drawings, and I feel like I'd like to try to schedule that. So I will do a live feed where I show you maybe how I drew that view of the whole town, if you're familiar with that. It's, I don't know if I can flip this camera or not. Yes. So it's backwards to you because I reversed it so everything you would see on the forward facing was okay. But I drew this giant, well, not giant, but it's a coloring poster of the whole town. And I have the original pencil and the ink overlays, and I can show you how I did that and what the whole process was. So that could be cool. Oh, Vicky, which one inspired? It was this one right here. So anyway, a little sidebar. I'm talking with a friend of mine whose coneflower inspired that piece. So anyway, that's the scoop. I'm going to go back to the tripod. So I'll schedule that live feed where I show you how I do those, and I'll set up the camera so that you can just kind of see the surface, and it'll probably work out pretty well. And then I just wanted to also remind everyone to look for that. And then September 4th will be my next body of new work. And then if you can, please remember to always dial in to btowngallerystroll.com. Every Friday at 5 o'clock, we're putting up all new work. So this week you'll see Biking Beach Forest, which you saw on this show. I usually have a video that gives you a little bit more detail, which is good, but this is a great website that we've worked on and that Greg Salvatore has been the webmaster for, and each week it takes a lot of work for all of these galleries, 30-some galleries in Provincetown, to pull together their latest and greatest and stuff that they want to share with you. And there's just one piece from every gallery, but it changes each week, so it's so much fun to scroll through. And you'll find other content too. There are a lot of stories written by gallery owners and artists, and so it's definitely worth checking out. And that's my last little plug. I don't know how long we went tonight, but it was great to connect. I don't know if there was any questions I missed. I'll go through this afterwards and respond if there's anything I can answer. And until then, everyone stay safe, and I will see you soon. Thank you.